Hi everyone, Jedi Knight in the Woods here. Well, I've come out for a wander into the woods today and I've just set the hobo stove up and got a brew on. And while I've got a few minutes, I wanted to make an introduction video to a series that I'm going to be posting in rapid succession. The reason for doing this one, as you'll see from the title, this is an introduction to a series I'm going to be doing on knife and sharp edge tool safety. Now, I was talking to one of the good guys at YouTube just recently, Mick from the Pack Sack channel, and we'd noticed that a couple of videos had been posted just recently by some youngsters where their knife handling skills left a lot to be desired. And I know from experience of seeing them, there's a lot of videos out there on knife and sharp tool safety. There's a lot of good ones, as Mick's already mentioned. Sean the Silver Fox does a good one. Mick's videos that he's just posted recently are, I think, brilliant. Go and check them out. But while we were having this discussion, we agreed that it might be an idea for us to both do our own sets of videos. So these are mine. And I wish I'd done them a little bit earlier, because I want my channel to be a resource, you know, primarily for my godsons, goddaughters, nieces, nephews, my own sons and daughters, if I'm lucky enough to have a family, but also for the general YouTube community. And I never realised just quite how involved I would become in this community. I thought I'd just be posting videos, a few people would comment and it'd be a bit random, but actually it's been very, very interactive, and I'm really grateful for that. But I think anybody that has a use for an edged tool has a responsibility to themselves to learn how to use that tool correctly. But more importantly, they've got a responsibility to other people to use those tools correctly. And when accidents happen, personally I think they're down to one of two things, and it's as simple as this. It's either ignorance, which is a more excusable reason for an accident to happen, although it's not a great one, because, as I say, everybody has a responsibility to themselves if they're using an edge tool to learn how to use it properly. But I guess ignorance is one of those things when you get enthusiastic and keen kids going out and enjoying themselves. Ignorance we can do something about. It's not so difficult to teach, I guess, younger people how to use these things correctly. The second reason that I guess accidents happen is, I think, generally around complacency. And a point was raised to me earlier on that people get these tools, they use them for years, and they become familiar with them, they start working faster with them, so on and so forth, and then accidents happen. For me, there's no excuse for complacency. If you're using these tools, use them carefully, respect them, and respect the people that are around you. Complacency is unforgivable if you hurt yourself, but it's a million times more magnified if you end up hurting somebody else because of your own negligence and your own complacency. So when I'm thinking about using edge tools, I have an anagram of sharps that I break down, and I'll tell you about that. Sharps, S-H-A-R-P-S. The first S stands for surroundings. Before using any tools, have a look at your general surroundings. Have you got a stable foot base? Is there anybody else likely to come into your circle of influence, or just outside that circle of influence? Look above you, look around you. Have you got anything that's likely to fall on top of you while you're doing it? Because, you know, Sod's Law says that just as you're about to saw a piece of wood in half, something might fall from the sky and give you a bit of a nasty shock. So the general surroundings. Never ever use a knife to point, never ever use a knife to indicate something. So that's the first S. The second S I use is H, which stands for honed. look up on Wikipedia or wherever you like on the definition of honed, but honed for me says, is the tool that I'm using kept in perfect working order? Is it fit for purpose? Has it been left out in the rain and rusted? Has it been left to go dull? You know, a sharp tool is a safe tool, a blunt tool is a dangerous tool. Have I got the skills that I need to use this tool effectively? So that's honed. A stands for attitude. How am I feeling? Am I feeling depressed? Am I upset? Am I angry? Am I taking something out on this axe while I'm using it? Oh sugar, I've lost my foot. Attitude. Am I under the influence of alcohol or drugs? I don't do drugs, but I like a bit of I like a beer every once in a while. Really, we need to be in the right frame of mind, so that's attitude. R stands for respect, and by respect I mean respect the tool that you're using. And a lot of accidents I find or hear about or see come about for people using the wrong tool for the wrong job. Mr. Pocket Knife Pry Bar Man. Use the right tool for the right job. What I don't want to do is get involved in an argument about one tool being great for all, and you know, certain people designing certain knives that are as thick as crowbars so they can be used as one. I don't want to get into that argument. What I want to establish is, if you're going to do a job, use the right tool for that job. The P stands for preparedness. Have I got the right safety tools with me, or the safety equipment? Now, if you're using something like a pocket knife, really do you need to cover yourself in overalls, wear goggles, a face mask, gloves and everything else? Well, no, probably not. But if you're using a chainsaw, you'll need to use that and more things. But most importantly, around preparedness, when you're using edge tools, I think, do you know where your first aid kit is? Have you got immediate access to a first aid kit if you need one? So that's preparedness. Then the final S is sheathing options. You don't have to take all of these in in the order that I say to you. This is just how I remember them. It's a good analogy to use, or anagram to use, sharps. The final S is for sheathing options. Really, you should look at sheaths when you're buying your tools to make sure you're looking at the whole thing as a package, not just the tool itself, but the sheathing options that you've got to go with it. But I put sheathing options on the end, and it has a purpose of going there because, you know, have I got an option for making sure that this tool is safe if I get distracted, if I get injured myself and I have to put it down? Have I got the options to make sure that my accident, if I have one, and I put the tool down, is not then going to cause another accident from somebody else coming along? So that's the basic analogy that I use for, or anagram that I use for edge tools, to remember, you know, what I'm doing as I'm going along. And this is just the introduction to this, and I don't want to get involved in discussions around knife laws and, as I say, what knives are better than others and whether a lock knife is more suitable for this, that or the other, or should, you know, I don't want to get involved in that. I just want to talk about the safety side of things. You go and decide whatever sharp tools are appropriate for your use and your conditions, with your skill sets, in your environment. And that's another key thing to remember. People talk about, you know, are machetes more effective than axes or hatchets? Yes, they are. But actually, hatchets and axes are more effective than machetes. It all depends on what environment you're using them in. In a jungle environment, for example, a machete would be brilliant. In a northern woodland in Scandinavia, in the northern woodlands of Canada, for example, you might find that an axe is actually more appropriate to the environment. I don't want to go into those sorts of things. So let's move on to the first of these series of videos, and I'm going to start with a simple little tool, which is a Swiss Army knife.